Hello and welcome to Sport Africa. In this week's program,
the World Cup has put the local versus foreign coach debate firmly on the agenda. Nations who are favorites to win go local. So we ask, why aren't African nations doing the same?
A foreign coach who comes in fact, it becomes very difficult for him to deal with local players.
She's one of Africa's all-time football greats. But off the pitch, is Messi Akide about to spill her guilty pleasure?
Eating too much ice cream.
These Senegal fans are loud, they're proud, and have lit up the World Cup in Russia one roar at a time. This Kenyan phenomenon becomes the fastest woman in women-only marathon history and inspires a generation with her sporting moment. And who we crowned our latest BBC armchair expert.
welcome to Sport Africa, the show that brings you Africa's biggest names from its biggest games. I'm Janine coming to you off the coast of the Atlantic, where there's a big World Cup football festival in full swing here in Lagos, Nigeria. While we'll take you through the beautiful view of the Echo Atlantic, remember that you can get in touch with us on social media. Senegal's Aliou Cisse's celebration in his team's 2-1 win over Poland was a stuff of meme land on the internet. His fist pumping was understandable as the Teranga Lions of Senegal delivered what will be Africa's first win at the FIFA World Cup. But that celebration and that win brought that hotly debated topic on local coaches and foreign ones. It's a quick fun fact for you. No foreign coach has ever won the World Cup. So our big question this week is, how should the African football associations be addressing this issue?
The debate has raged for years amongst football fans. Should national teams hire local or foreign coaches? Every 4 years, there's a massive celebration of the beautiful game. It's the World Cup. It's about stars, the action, the fans, the passion. But perhaps most of all, it's about winning the coveted prize. And everyone looks to the coaches for that winning formula. For many of these men, this is the stage they've been building up to, their moment of glory for self and country. Brazil, Italy and Germany are the most successful teams at the World Cup, and they have never been coached by a foreigner. In fact, no World Cup winning country has ever gone to the tournament with a foreign coach. At this year's tournament, 12 out of the 32 teams have foreign coaches, among them African sides Egypt, Nigeria and Morocco. Former players turned coaches Nabil Maloul of Tunisia and Senegal's Aliou Cisse are the only local coaches from Africa. Senegal's 4 out of 6 technical bench members are former Teranga Lions players. Cisse said he hopes African coaches can have a place in world football. Coaches are judged by the results of their teams, so getting the right man for the job is very key. Here in the continent, which way FAs should go in hiring coaches? Do they go local or foreign? Is a debate that refuses to go away.
It's an old adage saying that a disciple is never respected at home. So when a foreign comes, it comes with maybe the modern technology, which is okay, but local coaches also. We go to Europe, we get the skills there, we come with it. So a foreign coach who comes in fact, it becomes very difficult for him to deal with local players because he doesn't know the history of the country.
But what do African fans think?
A Nigerian coach will understand the players. The foreign coach, he just listens to what people tell him to do without necessarily, he doesn't know how to relate to the players. No country has won the World Cup with a foreign coach ever.
Ningependa local players.
I prefer a local coach because he knows the players in the country and will watch all levels of the league in order to select the best players even from the second tier. He would also understand the local language, so it makes it easier for him to direct the players.
I will prefer foreign coaches to African coaches. They impact professionalism to our local players, of which is a merit to our African football.
What about Brazilian fans? They are the most successful team at the World Cup, having won the competition 5 times. But would they ever accept a foreign coach for the Seleção?
I believe that Brazilians don't want to have foreign coaches because they don't understand the culture and they don't get it right. Football clubs try to bring in coaches from other countries, but they never adapt to the way we play football.
For us, it's no problem. It could come from anywhere. The important is that it could be a good trainer for us.
I don't think any coach who is a Brazilian will add anything to our team.
Statistics indicate that foreign coaches have achieved more at a global level than our own indigenous coaches. In 2014, the late Stephen Keshi became the first African coach to lead a team to the second round of a World Cup. So does this then make a case for hiring foreign coaches?
However, also is a challenge on the local coaches. When you are given an opportunity, can you deliver? It's not about just handing it over to a local coach.
Previously, FAs in Africa have also been accused of not supporting indigenous coaches. In 2006, Keshi qualified Togo for their first ever World Cup, but the Nigerian was replaced with the German Otto Pfister before the final. In 2010, Swede Sven-Goran Eriksson was brought in by Ivory Coast to lead their World Cup campaign, but lasted only 3 months after a poor performance.
It's something that I really don't like, when we start smelling a foreigner like a semi-god that has come, and it's the same job you've been doing.
We have not given them the education and the exposure required. A local young coach needs serious education.
But if results are all that matter in football, do fans then really care about the person behind getting them those precious wins? Opinion definitely remains divided on this issue, but what is clear is that with every indigenous coach who excels, the odds then shift in favor of hiring more local coaches across Africa.
And we've extended that question of local coaches or foreign coaches to you on social media. Holders Germany, though eliminated from this World Cup, have won it 4 times and they have only ever had German coaches. This is what you've been telling us. Dan Spion Copite has tweeted, "Go for the very best candidate that you can afford. Merit first." Moses Edopolo adds, "Let the best person do the job. Nationality shouldn't be the criteria." Vin Gavin in Kinshasa says, "Local coaches are the best, and the example is my country DRC. Since the local coach took office, the country's national team has progressed a lot." To Chris Bloom, he says, "Hiring a foreign coach is denying local coaches the opportunity of attaining the top coaching job in their country."
Time now for our Sports Quiz Armchair Expert, the competition that puts you to test against the best and the rest of the continent. Let's cross over to our referee in Nairobi, Celestine Karone.
Hello and welcome to Armchair Experts, the quiz where you get to show off your sporting knowledge, and this week we are focusing on World Cup knockouts and Wimbledon. Let's meet our contestants.
Hello guys, I'm Wekesa Felix, our Manchester United fan in Brazil, and today I'm going home with the crowd. Watch out.
Name is Kevin Gore. I am your typical armchair fan, and today I am here to add the armchair to my repertoire.
So it's Kevin and Felix, some tough talking contestants, but who will carry the day? Well, let's start with the first round. Here is how it works.
Round 1. It's simple. 30 seconds each to answer as many questions as possible on what's going on in the sporting week.
Kevin, 30 seconds to start. Your time starts now. Who knocked Nigeria out of the second round in 1994?
Pass.
Italy. How far did Croatia go in the 1998 World Cup?
Quarterfinals.
You said quarterfinals, so I'll go with semi-finals. That is wrong. Which Zimbabwean has won 5 Wimbledon titles?
I don't know. Pass.
Cara Black. Who are the only Asian nation to reach a semi-final at a World Cup?
South Korea.
Which was the first African team to reach the quarterfinals?
Ghana.
Cameroon. How long did the longest ever Wimbledon match last? 9, 11 or 13 hours?
13 hours.
11 hours. Sorry. Time's up, Kevin. You scored a point. Felix, do you think you can do better?
Yeah.
Well, your 30 seconds start now. Who knocked Ghana out of the quarterfinal in 2010?
No.
Uruguay. Who did David Beckham kick out to get sent off in the 1998 World Cup? Diego Simeone. From which African country does Roger Federer's mother come from?
Spain.
South Africa. Name one of 2 teams to have reached the semi-finals on their World Cup debut.
Bus.
Croatia or Portugal. Who was the first African nation to make it out of the group stages at the World Cup?
Ghana.
Morocco. When was the roof completed on Centre Court at Wimbledon? 2007, 2009 or 2011?
2011.
2009, and your time is over. Sadly, you are out for a dark, 0 points. Let's look at how the scores are. Kevin, you've got 1 point, and Felix, you have a no point. But don't worry, guys, still a chance to redeem yourself with the second round coming up later in the program.
While we certainly enjoy keeping up with the you-know-who, we keep up just fine with one of Africa's football finest, Nigerian women's national team icon Mercy Akide. Known for her goal-scoring prowess and bagging Africa's first ever Women's Footballer of the Year award, the Super Falcons now turned coach is all sauce, no ketchup in who am I.
When I went to the Olympics, Colin Usdor was my fiancé. I told him I'm going to score a goal for him. And that was that goal I scored against Sweden, and I gave him that kiss. Nigeria, 2-4. Oh, Instagram. I run a lot on my own pace, and I drink vitamins. No, I'm just grateful. I'm just happy for who I am and where I am now. Perpetua. I like something dead because if you score, the game is over. Can I say 2? Onaze and Messi. Work hard, train hard, just stay focused. Seeing my daughter going to college, and also my career being a national team coach. Hey, braids. Eating too much ice cream. Rodents.
Dear Mercy, I truly want to be like you when I'm 42, fit and ready to play for the Super Falcons as the ball girl, of course. That's the end of part 1. When we return, we'll meet the Teranga Lions fans who could be the next best thing in Africa after jollof rice. This is Sport Africa from the BBC. Welcome back to BBC Sports Africa. They say when you're in love, you do just about anything, including traveling over 6,000 miles with your love on your sleeves and songs on your lip for your one true love, the Senegal football national team. A group of Senegal fans have been capturing the world's attention with their color and exuberance at the World Cup. We get to find out from them what binds this clique.
They love melody, you know, and we Senegalese people, we bring our melody and we want to show it at the Russian people, you know, to see our culture. That's why I'm like this, you know. Yeah, man, I'm representing my culture from Casamance.
I have been supporting Senegal, not just the football team, but I also support basketball, volleyball, handball, rugby, wrestling. As long as Senegal is involved, I support them and I'm proud of it. I always wear Senegal colors, as you can see. I'm used to dressing like this because this is my way of showing allegiance to my country's flag, just like all other Senegalese.
We are so much enjoying because we believe at our teams, you know, we believe at our all African children who are coming to play and to represent the African countries. And we believe at them. We believe that they, and we know that them are strong.
I have been following and supporting the coach, Aliou Cissé, since he was a player before he became a coach. And even before Aliou Cissé, I supported the older players who preceded him. I am like father to all of these young current supporters.
It's time for round 2 of Armchair Expert, and it's back to Celestine in Nairobi.
Welcome back to Armchair Expert. Kevin is in the lead with a point. Felix still yet to get a point, but it's time for round 2. Let us look at the rules.
Round 2, convince me. You each have 15 seconds to argue for or against. 2 points are up for grabs.
15 seconds to convince me, gentlemen, on this statement. Seeing Brazil beaten 7-1 by Germany was one of the sport's greatest moments. Kevin, you're arguing against. Your 15 seconds start now.
There have been greater moments in football. Diego Maradona dribbling against England in the World Cup, Cameroon beating Argentina 1-0 in 1990, going down history, Manchester United winning the Champions League, 2-1 extra time in the Champions League, Leicester winning the Champions League, Arsenal 89 winning the league.
And your time is up, but yeah, quite some good points there. Felix, you've had him. So convince me, your time starts now.
The fact that the fixture was between one of the best teams in the world, Brazil and Germany, makes it memorable. Then the fact that it was at a semi-final stage makes when the fans are watching the game, many fans in the world, makes it memorable. So I think it's a very memorable moment in the world.
Just on time. You finished just on time. Now that was very tough, and I am sort of inclined to go with Kevin. Yeah, you got more points. That means you get 2 points for this round. Let's look at the overall scores. Kevin, that means you are on 3 points, and Felix, sadly, yeah, the scoreboard still says 0. But guys, there's still lots to play for in round 3. Don't lose hope, Felix. We will be back later in the program.
If you are an athlete, what would be bigger than winning? I see you at home wondering, saying there's something bigger than winning. Of course there is, and it's quite simple, but technically the biggest feat you can achieve as a sports person, and that's making and breaking records. This time in 2017, Kenyan phenomenon Mary Katani rewrote the history books 1 mile at a time, making the record hers.
For me was just to go my race and try to beat the world record of the women. I didn't want to mind who will be following me, who is in the race, who is not in the race. And immediately when the can was shut, I just focused on my race because something which I've been chasing for so long. For Caroline, I was a little bit worried. She had not tried to pace for somebody. So it was her first time.
The pace that he was using was a suicide pace.
She was running too fast.
I didn't know if Mary will finish with that kind of speed.
I was with pressure that I want to do this thing and I want to make it. Cheering of the spectators, I was just motivated. My memorable moment is when I was going through the 35 kilometer to 40 kilometer. That's where the toughness was. So I was just thinking, if I do from 35 to 40 and nobody is behind me, probably I've just won the game.
By then, the splits show that Mary is still maintaining the pace, even though the Papa was trying to close the gap.
And when I just tried to look the second place where she was, I was not seeing her, so I was saying, okay, this is not imagination, this is something real, and I've done it. It was something amazing. Yeah, I cannot even express the feelings that I was having because I was already laughing, I was smiling. Few meters to the finishing line, I was satisfied with the time. Because I was seeing 2:16, 56, 57, 58, so I said, okay, so long as I've just beaten the 2:17.42, I didn't mind. Oh, I could have pushed in order to run 2:16. No, I was saying, okay, I've did this. Oh, marvelous.
Before we go, who's going to rock this big yellow throne in Nairobi? It's the final round of Armchair Expert, and back to Celestine, our referee.
And it's crunch time on Armchair Expert. Kevin is on 3 points. Felix, you're still yet to get a point as we head into the third and final round. Let's see the rules.
Round 3, the quickfire decider. 45 seconds to push up your score. Remember, shout your name before you answer or you lose out.
Guys, 45 seconds to shout your name. Remember, shout your name. And your time starts now. Which nation has the most Rugby World Cup wins?
New Zealand. France. New Zealand.
Yes, correct. A player who performs well in both batting and bowling in cricket is called a what?
Kevin Anis.
No.
Pass.
An all-rounder. How many Grand Slam finals did Rafael Nadal reach in 2017?
8. Kevin, 8.
No. 3. Who did Unai Emery manage before joining Arsenal?
Kevin, PSG.
He said his name fast, so he goes to the point. Which country was a cyclist Chris Froome born in?
Kenya, Kevin.
Yes.
Kevin, Kenya.
How many laps are there in the Indy 500 motor race?
Kevin, 8. 24.
No, 500. Who won this year's FA Cup?
Kevin, Chelsea.
Yes. Okay,
Continue.
I just got cut off by the timer, people. Sorry, guys. Time is up in round 3. Kevin, you have 3 points. Felix, you got a point. Let's see what this has done to the overall scoreboard. So that means the overall scores are Felix, you have 1 point, and Kevin, you have 6 points, which means you are this week's Armchair Expert winner. And I have kept it on for you. You may sit on the throne. Permission granted.
Thank you. It is added to my repertoire.
You promised to take it with you.
Thank you for keeping it warm, and thank you for letting me get the armchair for keeps.
Congratulations. It is not for keeps. You can get your chance to sit on the throne like Kevin. Do join us next week for yet another edition.
Big congratulations to you, Kevin, this week's winner. Don't forget you can get in touch with us on anything you've seen in the program via Facebook or Twitter. And that's where you can catch some of these pieces again. And if you still want more, you can count on us for that. Just head over to our brand new website, BBC Sports Africa. It's been lovely doing this with you, so we say a big thank you. I'm Janine Anthony signing out from Russia in Lagos. Goodbye, guys.